Sole control over the parking lot. There's 4 people here.
Yeah, but those children don't live here. I mean, they literally live across the street on the other side. They don't.
I understand what you're telling me, and I get it, but you don't have sole power to say, hey, they can't be in this.
Is based on real-life criminal cases. Some names, details, and events have been altered for privacy and dramatic purposes. While every effort has been made to ensure accuracy, certain information may not be factually verified. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Some of these cases remain unsolved.
If y'all were here when it happened, just stand right here so I know who was out here when it happened, okay?
I left my iPad over there because we were playing games, and I went to go get it. I said, give me my iPad because she had it. She dropped it, tried to throw the skates at me, and and then I got my brother. She said,
Florida woman convicted in deadly shooting now countersues victims' children for defamation. Good day, everyone, and welcome back to Murder Mistress, the channel where we explore the most shocking and unsettling stories in the world of crime and justice. Today's case comes from the state of Florida, and it is one that has captured national attention and ignited deep debate about race, self-defense, and the limits of the law. This is the case of Susan Lorincz, the Florida woman convicted of manslaughter for shooting her neighbor, Ajike Owens, through a closed door. What began as a long and bitter neighborhood dispute ended in tragedy, leaving 4 children without their mother. But now, even after her conviction, Susan Lorincz is not stepping away from the headlines. She is reportedly attempting to countersue Ajike Owens' children for defamation, claiming that their statements about her have damaged her reputation and twisted the narrative of what really happened. Before we continue,
We need to do CPR real quick.
baby, wake up!
CPR.
Baby, wake up!
Let me see. Do we have any?
please do not forget to like and subscribe to Murder Mistress. Your support allows us to keep diving deep into the most complex and emotionally charged cases in America's justice system. Every click, comment, and share helps our community grow and ensures that these stories are told with care, respect, and truth. So please, take a moment to like this video, subscribe if you have not done so already, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a case like this again. Now, back to the story that has left both outrage and confusion in its wake. It was a quiet Friday evening in Ocala, Florida, a suburban neighborhood where most people simply wanted to live in peace. But for 35-year-old Ajike Owens and her family, that peace had been shattered long before June of 2023. For months, Owens and her neighbor, 59-year-old Susan Lorincz, had been locked in an ongoing dispute. Neighbors said it began over simple things: noise, children playing outside, and accusations of property damage. But as tensions built, the relationship between the two women turned bitter and dangerous. According to court records and witness accounts, the final confrontation occurred after one of Owens' young children accidentally left an iPad in Lorinc's yard. Lorincz reportedly took the device, refused to give it back, and when the children came to retrieve it, she threw it at them, striking one of the kids. Panicked and upset, the children ran home to tell their mother what had happened. That was when Ajike Owens, a single mother of 4, walked over to Lorinc's home to confront her. She knocked on the door, demanding an explanation, but what happened next would end her life. Instead of opening the door or calling the police, Lorincz retrieved a handgun. According to prosecutors, she then fired a single bullet through the closed and locked door, striking Owens in the chest. Owens collapsed and later died from her injuries in front of her young children, who had followed her to the door. The community erupted in grief and anger. The shooting was immediately compared to other racially charged stand-your-ground cases in Florida. Activists and attorneys for Owens' family argued that the shooting was unprovoked, senseless, and rooted in racial bias. Lorincz, who is white, claimed she acted in self-defense, saying she feared for her life because Owens had been banging on her door aggressively. But the facts did not seem to align with that defense. Owens was unarmed. She never entered Lorinc's home. The bullet that ended her life came through a closed door, a detail that became the defining point of the case. As the investigation unfolded, Lorincz was arrested and charged with manslaughter with a firearm, culpable negligence, and assault. Prosecutors made it clear Owens had not posed an immediate threat that justified deadly force. The use of Florida's controversial stand your ground law was rejected, and Lorinc's case proceeded to trial. During the trial, jurors heard powerful testimony from Owens' children and the responding officers who arrived that night. The prosecution played 911 calls, showed body cam footage, and presented the door itself as evidence, a haunting reminder that Owens never made it past the threshold of Lorinc's home. The defense tried to argue that Lorincz lived in fear of Owens and her children, claiming she had been harassed and intimidated for months. They described Owens as aggressive, suggesting that Lorincz fired in panic, not malice. But the jury was unconvinced. After deliberations, they found Lorincz guilty of manslaughter. For Owens' family, the conviction brought some sense of justice, but not closure. Her mother, Pamela Diaz, spoke outside the courthouse, saying that while justice had been served in part, nothing could ever replace Ajike or heal the trauma inflicted on her children. But now, in a shocking and controversial move, Susan Lorincz is reportedly planning to file a countersuit against the Owens family, specifically targeting Ajike's children and her estate. Lorincz claims that statements made by the family and their legal representatives after the trial have defamed her character, labeling her a racist murderer and spreading false information about her motives. Law and Crime's Jesse Weber analyzed this surprising legal twist, breaking down the wrongful death lawsuit filed by Owens' family and how Lorinc's intended countersuit could unfold. According to Weber, this move is highly unusual, particularly for someone already convicted in connection with the same incident. Anthony Thomas, the attorney representing the Owens estate, described Lorinc's countersuit plans as deeply offensive and legally absurd. He told Law and Crime that the Owens family statements are rooted in documented facts, not defamation. It's another attempt, he said, for a convicted killer to paint herself as the victim. Legal experts also question how Lorincz could proceed with a defamation claim while her conviction stands. In most jurisdictions, a person found guilty of manslaughter cannot successfully claim that public criticism of their actions is defamatory, especially when those criticisms are based on the factual record of their trial. Still, Lorinc's decision underscores her continued insistence that she acted in self-defense. From her perspective, she was a frightened woman living alone, harassed by neighbors, and pushed to the edge. Her defense team has maintained that she did not intend to kill anyone. She fired blindly, out of fear. But Owens supporters point to the long history of complaints Lorincz had filed against her neighbors, alleging harassment and noise disturbances. Police records show multiple calls from Lorincz over minor neighborhood disputes, suggesting a pattern of hostility and exaggeration. Even more troubling are the racial dynamics that underlie this case. Civil rights advocates argue that if the situation were reversed, if a black woman had fired through a door at a white neighbor, the outcome would likely have been very different. Owens' family and supporters have described the case as another painful reminder of how bias and fear can turn deadly. Now, the Owens estate is pursuing a wrongful death lawsuit against Lorincz, seeking financial damages for the emotional and psychological harm inflicted on Ajike's 4 children. That lawsuit also aims to hold Lorincz accountable beyond her criminal conviction, ensuring that she cannot profit or publicly reshape the narrative of the case. Jesse Weber's analysis highlights how this